What's up, YouTube? This is Asian Cards, and who do we have here?
David Hernandez.
I just want to ask, what'd you do this weekend?
I got a top 8 at the Rochester Regional.
And what were you playing?
Vanquish Soul.
And what were your matchups, if you remember any of them?
Oh god. It was also like random. 2 cash, Sprite, Tier. That's all I can. Oh, Infernoble, I think.
Did you play against like Rescue Ace?
Branded. I didn't play against Rescue Ace or Unchained. Oh, Pearly too.
Okay.
I played against like a majority. The only repeat deck was Cash, but I beat both of them. One of them like completely bricked.
Any shout outs?
Shout out Froggy, because I pretty much copied his list. Almost card for card. I made a couple changes. He's wild for some changes. That's about it.
You had no faith in this deck, right? You were like super like...
No, I've never been more unprepared for an event in my life. I was so tired, and I was like, I have no idea why I'm playing this deck. It's like so bad.
3 in the morning, drove.
No, we left. It was like 1:30. I got up. It was like drove up to like 6 hours for the regional. I was so tired, and I had like no sleep. And I was like, the deck performed well, so.
All right, let's hop in.
All right, we'll do Vanquish Soul Engine first. 2 Borger, 2 Caesar, 3 Mad Love, 3 Pantera, 3 Raisin, and a Pluton. So.
I guess that's the only non-standard one, right?
This is also not standard at all. Like if people play this, they play 1. Pretty much no one plays Pluton. And pretty much everyone plays 3 Borger. This version, I guess I'll just spoil it now because it's easier at explaining. The only reason I wanted to play this list is for 3 Rev Synchron.
Spicy.
So you play the 3 Pantera because it's just a level 4 that you can summon for free for Rev Synchron, and it makes this deck more consistent. So like you're opening Soul Raisin a lot more because you're gonna be able to we make Power Tool. I'm spoiling like the whole deck. You're gonna make Power Tool, and we play 3 Durendal. So Soul Pantera plus a Rev Synchron equals a Raisin, and Mad Love plus a Rev Synchron equals a Raisin, and plus your full combo because you'll search Continue and revive it, and then summon the Raisin. Pluton. I didn't really play this deck before. I wasn't like a big fan of it, and then when I started playing it, Pluton surprisingly comes up like so much. I would side it out and like miss it every single time. It just pretty much guarantees it. Every time you summon a Raisin on your opponent's turn, it's going to be an interruption too, because it's going to be able to pop. Because the fact that it can search a fire is like always going to fix your hand with attributes, so that this is going to guarantee a pop every time.
That's the only fire, right?
It's the only fire you can search off Raisin. Raisin is a fire, but he can't search himself. So it just makes your hands like fixing attributes like so much better. He didn't come up this event, but he has come up before. It's just like summoning a body on your opponent's turn, and then it helps you like OTK because you can boost them up to 3K. That's about it. I guess I didn't miss the 3rd Burger at all. Froggy was playing 2 Burger. I just copied his list, and he
never missed it.
Yeah, it never came up. Like honestly, I drew it like enough, and I never needed the 3rd or anything. Like most of the games end by turn 3 when it comes back to my turn. A lot of the, like how you play or how I was playing the deck is like you kind of if you open like Rev Synchron plus like Raisin, you kind of just do your normal Vanquish Soul stuff, like get your draws, and then like you're stopping your opponent, slowing them down with like hand traps and stuff. And then when it comes back to your turn, you're gonna summon a guy, Rev Synchron, and break their board and OTK them. So I never missed the heavy Borger. I wasn't going into grind games all that often.
Caesar was good?
Yeah, Caesar's broken. Helps you OTK, pops cards, non-targeting. That's that. And then a small cash engine, 3 Fenrir, 1 Rise Heart. This is also for fixing your hand with attributes. You can like start this. It's kind of dangerous, but like sometimes you need it. Like you'll risk, if you don't have a Raisin but you have Stake Your Soul in this, you can like summon this, search Rise Heart. If they don't draw you, you're good. Then you can just reveal this, summon a Raisin. It's really good.
What if you get drawn your, yeah.
And this is also like a level 4. Like you can like break up a lot of boards with this. There's a lot of boards that like don't have monster negates. Like Kashtira doesn't have monster negate. The Infernoble, a lot of their hands like don't end on like a Baron or a Gear Free. Like they end on like spells. So you can just like normal level 4. You stick a level 4 on the board, and then you use Rev Synchron, and you just Black Rose them. And then you just play after that. It's really good. Fenrir is also just like the most cracked card ever.
Can you use the Rev Synchron in like a Fenrir to make a Baron?
You could, but I don't play
Okay.
it. But you would have to normal summon the Rev Synchron as a problem. Rev Synchron has to go for like a dragon.
Okay.
Hand traps, 3 Ash, 3 Veiler, 3 Imperm. These just felt like the most generic hand traps in like every form and every deck. Like the more oppressive ones like Joel and stuff are in the side. These were really good all day. Like this is the best one. Obviously, you can draw this as your 6th card. That's broken. This is just so good against like Chimera, Branded, so many decks like that. Veiler, not once per turn. Won me a couple of games. I drew 2 of them. Just really good cards.
Veiler game.
Spells, 3 Stake Your Soul, and then 1 Dust Devil and 2 Continue. Normal lists are playing like 1 of this usually. It's really important in this deck because if you have to go for the Power Tool line turn 1, you're going to go Mad Love and use this your turn 1. So you want this for follow-up for something to search off of it. This card was insane all day. Every time I drew it, like, and I had a playable hand, it was disgusting. Because like my last match of the day, I ended like Rock plus a guy, and I opened this plus Dust Devil against Cash, and he lava gold my 2 guys. If I didn't draw this, I would have lost. But since I drew this, I just revived the Mad Love, search another one of these for follow up, and then Dust Devil his Fenrir, and he passed, and then I OTK'd him.
Is it normal to play one of the Dust Devil?
Yeah, I think so. This card's insane. Non-targeting Book of Moon or Book of Eclipse if you have like multiple guys. Like it's broken into Pearly because like you have this and everyone's playing the field spell, so you can't target their stuff. But they go to battle phase and then you Book of Moon their board and then they pass. Like they can't do anything. It's really good. It's broken against Kashtira. It's like one of the few like interactions that Vanquish has going first. You're gonna like Raisin in this. So like Raisin with the Pluton, you're gonna have a pop and then you're gonna have a set. So and then when it comes back to your turn, you're just gonna kill them. And then 4 more copies of Raisin. It's just all consistent. Like you just want to get the Raisin every time, and it worked out for me. I think I maybe had 1 game where I didn't open Raisin like exactly or like one of these.
So what, 10 of them?
And I just I just power tooled into it, so it didn't really. I technically did open Raisin. I just like didn't break it all. It was great. That's the deck. 40 cards exactly. I don't think I would change anything in the main deck. I think the main deck's like pretty perfect, honestly.
You're playing in some regionals like in the future. Are you gonna play this deck?
Probably.
Or if you get a new list.
I liked it. Yeah, the main deck, like the extra deck, I think maybe needs some changes, and maybe the side deck. But the main deck felt great.
Mm-hmm.
Main deck felt great. Extra deck. We'll do the easy stuff first, I guess. 3 Rock. You just have space for this. I never needed the 3rd. Most of the time, 2 is enough. Didn't really need more than that. And then one of my changes was adding a Nightmare Phoenix. I wanted like a generic link too that I could like possibly like link Ibliov for. Also like the fact that this points down. I love playing Nightmares, getting a draw. I never made this. This might. I don't know if I'm gonna continue to play it. It might switch to something else. But I definitely want to fit like Lingaribo in the list because my 1 loss was to an Ibli. I just like couldn't out it. I like normal the guy and he like Book of Moon did, and I was like, okay, I lose. Those are links. Exceed Monsters. 1 Abyss Dweller. Baguska.
That's crazy.
And then 4 Zeus. For the 6 material Zeus.
Why do you play 2 of this one?
I don't really know why he played 2 of this. You could like play Hammer Kong, I guess.
Or it could be like if you make one and they interrupt it, you can make you can, because if they interrupt you at like this step.
Yeah. So yeah, if they interrupt you on this step, I guess that's the reason why.
Because
that never happened.
I feel like they would interrupt at the board.
Yeah, most of the time, most like players, they know what they're doing. They're gonna wait for the Borbo and just stop you in battle phase. So it doesn't really matter. But yeah, you just like make Borbo, and then main phase 2, you put both of these on top, and then a Zeus. Didn't really come up. I've done it a couple times, like when I was playtesting this deck, like on DB, it came to like break a board. You just like go Soul Pantera, they don't negate it, normal a guy, and then you go immediately Borbo. If they don't have like a Book of Moon type card, you're just gonna go to battle phase, attack directly, 6 material Zeus, and that's usually enough to break through all their interruptions unless they have like the counter trap. Baguska. This came up once. I think I like messed up when I played it, but it's actually like broken. I used it to like stall out for a couple turns, and then I just put it in attack position. It can't be targeted or destroyed when it's attack position, so you just like guarantee can like get into something. I think I left it with one tier like attack. I made a Zeus, but I played the turn poorly after that, so I lost that game. But I won the match anyway. Won game 3. Abyss Dweller. There's like tier Chimera, like random decks that like this is like really broken against. Didn't come up this event, but it has come up before, and there's like you have so much space in the extra deck. There's like no reason not to play it, honestly. Card's insane. And then the synchros.
The cool part.
Crystal Wing, Power Tool, Black Rose, and then the best card in the extra deck, honestly. Kui Belt,
yeah.
the Blade Dragon. It's like TCG exclusive. It's just on summon, target any card on the field, pop it. And then as a secondary effect, it doesn't really come up. If it gets destroyed or sent to the graveyard, you target a face-up monster, and it can't attack for 2 turns until the end of your opponent's turn. So this is just like how you're like breaking the board like all the time. Like it comes back to your turn after you slow down your opponent, and then you go like a level 4 Rev Synchron, make this, pop a card. And then you Rev Synchron, summon back, make Crystal Wing, and now you have a negate through their board. So like you're just like playing through everything. It's insane. Black Rose breaks your summon board, and Power Tool is a consistency card. We were playing Froggy was playing Power Tool Mecha Dragon.
What is that?
It's
level 9?
No, it's a level 7. So it's for when you open a Durandal. This has to show exactly 3 equip spells. Power Tool has to show exactly 3 equip spells from the deck. So if you open a Durandal, you can't Power Tool. So you play Mecha Dragon if you want more draws. You can like Mecha Dragon, equip the Durandal, and it draws a card. But
This is like a one more kind of.
yeah, honestly, like it came up like in the games 2 and 3 when you're going first. Like you want to draw and get draws like into your side deck. Like you want to draw like your blowout cards. But like I said, how I was playing is like I really wasn't using Rev Synchron turn 0. So I wasn't a big fan of it. So I cut it for like a link. It's probably gonna move like Lingaribo in here, like I said earlier, somewhere in here. I probably wouldn't put Power Tool Mecha Dragon in.
Because I feel like if you have Durandal, you're already winning.
Yeah, like if you have Raisin in your common resolves, you're fine, honestly. Side deck, 2 Lightning Storm, 1 Heart Beast.
Every side.
Yeah,
deck
you got like you play this for back row decks. These didn't really come in. Heartbeat came in against Cash, and like maybe a couple other decks, but I didn't side in Lightning Storm all that often, honestly. Book of Eclipse. This is for like Pearly and like other random Exceed decks going first. So this is like randomly good against like so many decks. Sided this one a lot. The God card. This card should be banned probably. Didn't draw it once. Didn't draw it a single time in the entire tournament.
That's another reason why you like this deck, right?
Yeah, I just didn't need it. Yeah, that's one of the reasons I also like this deck was it doesn't lose the D barrier, and like I won a lot of game 1s, game 1 and 2s. Honestly, I won a lot of games like not showing them Rev Synchron. I mean, even if they sided in like D barrier, like it's like pretty unpredictable to do that. Like they're gonna go, I don't like Rev Synchron in like a Kui Belt, and they're gonna go in, like D barrier. Like they D barriered me for an imperm basically, and took me off Crystal Wing. That's like not really impactful. So like they shouldn't be signing this anyway. Yeah. But a lot of times I was like holding the Rev Synchron as like a surprise factor, like just like stick level 4. They don't know I play it, and then I just like get to break their board for free. But yeah, that card's broken. Like I said though, never drew it. And then the blowout cards, Droll and Shifter. This was another change I made to the deck. It was originally Crow, and Crow was just like not cutting it at all.
Seems low impact.
Yeah, it's like really low impact, and I was playing against like a lot of decks that like one Crow wasn't doing anything. And thank God I did. I only drew this twice the whole tournament. Sided in way more than that. But both times it was like game ending. I drew 3 of them against Branded. I shifted him, and then he had to banish this with a Magnemite to continue to playing. So then on his following turn, I just shifted him again, and then that sealed the deal.
He was probably pissed.
And then the other time, I just like completely blew out an Infernal player. They like I got greedy and like waited for them to go to main phase, and they like normaled Ogier, and I shifted them. They didn't have talents, luckily, and I just OTK'd him because he couldn't end on anything. Droll. I think I sided in a couple times, didn't draw it once, but it's like mandatory in this format. You have to play it. Like a lot of the decks, like I would cite in both of these because a lot of decks that like Droll hurts, Shifter also hurts. So I just like want the max amount of like copies, max amount of like ways to just like turn them off their turns because this deck does struggle to like if any big combo board, I'm just gonna scoop to it. I just won't even show them my deck. Like there's no point.
Like how do you out like a Noir? It's kind of hard to, right? There's no like inherent.
I mean, if they like nobody, they're barely making like a 5 material Noir without the trap. So most of the time, people are like just summoning it and then using all their shuffles. So you don't really have to worry about like out in the towers. If they just like sat on the towers, I mean, just like thinking about it. Unless if they don't have Delicious on it, you can attack over it. But usually there's not really like a way to get over it. But you usually stop them before that point. Like if you go first, you have the pop, you have the Book of Moon. They're not going to get to it. And if you go second, you hopefully hand trap them. And if you didn't, you're just going to scoop and go to the next game. My one Pearly matchup was like the one time they sat on a Noir and just like kept gaining materials with the field spell. I lost, but then I went to game 3, went first, and won. Yeah, that's the deck. I think the deck's pretty good. I was hating it before this weekend, but after playing it, it performed really well. I think, like I said, it doesn't lose the D-Bear, it doesn't lose the Droll, it doesn't lose the Shifter, doesn't lose a lot of the blowout cards I was losing when I was like playing Pearly before this. So I'm a big fan of that. The Rev Synchron makes the deck a lot cooler, makes it play through boards, OTK really easily, more consistent. Everything about it was like pretty great. So I'm probably gonna stick with this. Maybe, unless I find something like insane. I might try out Chimera, that deck seems fun. But for now, I like the deck.
Did a lot of people like not know what your cards did?
Actually a surprising amount of people knew. I think I had like 1 or 2 opponents that were like, I've never read these cards before.
You're like, oh, I got this. Like your last round opponent.
Yeah, but like, the great part was that like anytime I made like Q Belt or whatever, like they were like, what is that? They're like, is that the TCG exclusive? I'm like, yeah. Yeah, the Rev Synchron just like put in so much work. I don't see how I would play this deck without it.
Sounds good.